Oh, we are one love. Hear the call. Together we rise. Let compassion enthrone. In the morning light, the sun breaks free. A new day dawns. It's a sight to see. With hearts wide open, we stand as one, living in our truth, like the stars in the sun. From the mountains high to the valley low, we're spreading our wings, letting our spirits flow. In every soul, there's a spark divine, raising up the world. We're truly alive. Oh, we are one love. United we stand, bringing peace to the world. Hand in hand, waking up to nature, releasing all fears, sharing hope and compassion through the laughter and tears.
Good morning, family. Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday morning connection and devotional services. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being in this space. Carrie and I had a wonderful trip to New England. Wasn't necessarily a vacation or as much restful, although it was not extreme. But we were up there sharing the good news with our friends and family at the Unity on the River in Massachusetts, right there at the edge of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And then we enjoyed a little bit of time just doing some exploring. The cool thing is that because we work remotely a lot of times, we have services in different auditoriums, but our offices are essentially in our home, that it gives us a chance to not have too much downtime in terms of, and I say chance to, sometimes we want downtime, but we're able to work remotely is the point I'm making. So we were able to still do some office work, do it remotely, and enjoyed a little bit of time in Boston. Carrie had never been before, so she got the whole Boston lobster experience, and it was great. We had a good time. She and I are going to be taking actual relaxation off the radar time this coming week. Now we'll be doing a little bit of work, but Carrie planned a surprise cruise for me for a few days for my birthday. So I'm going to take her up on that. But I do have the Wi-Fi package, which means I'll be able to still do a little bit of work. But I promise I'll take some time to relax. I mean, I had a couple of friends say, unplug. But I was like, yeah, I mean, me working, doing spiritual work, there are parts of it that can be stressful, but this is certainly not. We've just come through our series, Living in Frequency, and we're saying that we're committing to practicing love, joy, and peace. We're getting ready to go into spirit expressing season, connecting the biology of belief with the chakras from root all the way to crown. And I wanted to give this message on this fifth Sunday, sort of in between the two series, because I believe they tie together. We've been talking about awakening. We've been talking about living in frequency. And today I wanted to share a message with you that I've titled Awakening Frequencies, Living Our Divinity in Times of Transition. Living our divinity in times of transition. Loved ones, we are living in times of transition, transformation, and transmission. Now, all of you know I love words, and so I mess around with words. What does transition mean to you, Reverend John? Well, it means the old world is shifting. There's a transition. You've heard me say we're not in trouble, we're in transition. Bishop Pearson is the one who was saying that for years and years and years. And I believe that to be my truth. And we're not in trouble, we're in transition. But when we say transition today, I'm talking about the old world is shifting, sifting, changing. Transformation to me is about our inner self being rewired. So transformation is our inner selves are being rewired. We're being rewired. We're being, I believe, positioned and conditioned for a new world existence. We've talked about that in living in the 5 dimension or the 5th dimension world. And what is transmission? Transmission is, to me, the frequencies of love, joy, and peace broadcasting louder than ever before, because we're both receivers of the divine frequency and we're conductors of divine frequency. As we said a couple of months back, we're not just receivers, we are conductors. Type that into the comments, if you will. I'm not just a receiver of divine frequency, I'm also a conductor of divine frequency. I'll give you a moment to put that in the comments. I'm not just a receiver of divine frequency, I am a conductor of divine frequency. And so, you probably have felt it. You probably have felt the tension. You probably have felt the feeling around the push and the pull and the pressure. And you have probably felt the confusion. But please hear me out when I say this. What looks like chaos is really a frequency upgrade. What looks like chaos is really catalyst, but it's also a frequency upgrade. Jesus said it this way: you are the light of the world, not someday, not when you're finally good enough, whatever that is, not after you've paid off your karma points like spiritual credit card points. Now, already, you are the broadcast of divinity in human form. Type that into the comments, if you will. I am the broadcast of divinity in human form. So, number one, frequency is everything. And we've been told that everything is energy, but frequency is also everything. Let's talk frequency. In physics, it tells us that everything is vibration. The chair I'm sitting on, vibration. The bed you're lying down on, or the chair you're sitting on, vibration. Your body, vibration. Your thoughts, vibration. Your words, oh my God, your words are Wi-Fi signals that are being sent out into the universe. And when you speak and feel in unity, in other words, there's harmonious coherence between both words and the body, that's what I call an ultra-wideband fiber connection that is flowing. So it's not the old dial-up. Religion is dial-up. This awakening is fiber. It is the fast-moving light, the speed of light. It's that ultra-wideband connection that's flowing. And here's the secret. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're broadcasting. And the thing is, you're not a radio that's searching for a station. You're the station. Type that into the comments. I am the station. You're not a radio searching for a station. You are the station. And if you're transmitting static, fear, resentment, unworthiness, that's what you're going to pick up more of. But if you broadcast love, joy, and peace, abundance, prosperity, and well-being, the entire field bends to meet you, because those are divine ingredients. In other words, when you're thinking in terms of love, joy, and peace, and abundance, and prosperity, and well-being, and wholeness, the universe vibrates that way already, because God is all of those things. And so the universe bends to meet you, because those divine ingredients are what's going out. And when you do, abundance is magnetized into your life. This is what it means to be magnificent. To be magnificent is to be one who is magnetizing the divine into your life and all of those ingredients. You magnetize that into your life. And abundance to me is the pulse of life itself. It's that overflowing current of existence that breathes you. It beats your heart. It grows the trees out of the ground, the galaxies out of stardust. It is the infinite supply of source that's showing up in 1,000 disguises: love, opportunities, synchronicities, health, creativity, joy, peace. All of that is divine abundance. Abundance to me is the awareness that you already are plugged into the wellspring that never runs dry. You don't have to manufacture it. In fact, you can't. You recognize it. You recognize it. It comes into your awareness. You're not creating it. You are magnetizing it, and you're recognizing it. It's the difference between staring at the waves of lack and remembering that you're the entire ocean. Come on now. That's shouting ground up in there. And I see back in the day in Pentecostal days, I would have said, somebody shout on that. It's the difference between staring at the waves of lack that may be facing you and remembering that you're the entire ocean. When you feel abundance, you realize that life is not withholding anything from you. Even the challenges are really just gifts wrapped in unfamiliar paper. And each one of those gifts is inviting you to expand, inviting you to grow. Abundance is generosity without fear, gratitude without conditions, receiving without guilt. It is saying yes to the sacred circulation of energy, knowing that what flows out must return multiplied. That is the nature of and the design of the divine. At its core, abundance is the remembrance that you are made of the same substance as the stars. In other words, your spiritual being that is inside of here, your essence that is in here, is also encapsulated in the same substance that the stars are made of. Isn't that something? When you look up at the stars and you see the grandeur of the stars, and you see the awesomeness, because we've even heard songs, when I in awesome wonder consider all the works of thine hand. When we sing the song, How Great Thou Art, and it says, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Yes, that same power and awe that we get from looking at the skies and at the stars, we are of that same substance. And furthermore, the possession, the essence that is possessing this being that's built from the same thing as stars, is God stuff, inside of God stuff. You're limitless, you're radiant, you're overflowing. It is not something that you chase. It is something that you embody. And that's what I'm talking about. That high frequency level of embodiment. Abundance is not just money, but it's ideas, it's opportunities, it's right relationships, it's creativity, it's divine provision. Abundance is the natural echo of high frequency. All that abundance is flows out of and is encapsulated within high frequency. We talked about it. We just came through the series. Dr. David Hawkins, he measured it. He said love calibrates at 500, joy and peace at 600, or joy at 540 and then peace at 600. These aren't just poetic words. They're measurable frequencies that change brain waves. They calm nervous systems, heal the body, and ripple out into the collective. And number two, energy in the age of upheaval. What is energy doing in this time of upheaval? Now, let's get real for just a moment. Not as if we haven't been so far, but let's get really real into your day-to-day life. These are wild times. We're dealing with climate change, political insanity, division. Let me say political insanity again. Division. Technology is pulling at your nerves. It's affecting and infecting your nervous system 24/7. We're living in an era where the frequency dial that we have is full of noise. The static seems overwhelming and persistent. And here's the temptation. The temptation is to match the chaos with chaos. The temptation is to fight fear with fear, to shout static into the static. But static, listen, please hear this, but static is always a sensual sign to keep adjusting the dial. And in fact, static is the central sign to keep adjusting the dial. Let me say it to you the way it comes to me. When I was a kid, my dad had a Buick LeSabre, and that Buick LeSabre was like a 1973. And I remember the radio dial. It had a dial on this side for volume and a dial on this side to dial in the station. And you either heard outright silence or you heard static. And the static is what was the signal that you weren't there yet. Keep tuning. So when you see the static that's going on in the world and you're feeling it in your body, you're feeling it in your life, keep tuning, baby, because the static is your sensual sign. It comes into the sense of hearing to keep adjusting the dial. See, the mystics even remind us, St. Paul reminded us, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. In other words, keep dialing. Here's my translation for that. Don't mirror the static. Don't repeat the same low frequency. Upgrade your broadcast. Don't mirror the static. Don't repeat the same low frequency. Upgrade your broadcast. When you see the craziness of the world, don't get caught into that vicious cycle. Upgrade your broadcast. Turn up your frequency. Think of it this way. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, compassion over judgment, peace over panic, you're not just healing yourself, you're adjusting the frequency of the entire planet. No pressure. But when you're choosing the divine way, you're adjusting the frequency of the entire planet. And here's part 3. Our divinity is revealed in these times. And it's revealed in our original AI. Now here's the wild truth, okay? You're not just a human tuning fork. You are a divine embodiment. Or let me say it this way. The wildest truth in this whole thing is that you're not just a human tuning fork, you're divinity embodied. You're walking around with the divine within you. Wayne Dyer said this, it was a repeat, but Wayne Dyer said, you are not a human being having spiritual experiences. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and I would say having a human experience and expression. I'm going to upgrade that just a little bit. In maybe more modern terms or just my own feeling about it. You are a spiritual frequency that chose to incarnate as flesh and blood and personality, so you could light up this time in history. You are chosen to be here now. I've said it and I have it on repeat. Your parents may have decided to have you, but God chose to send you. Here's an affirmation. I'm going to ask you to put this in the comments or at least say it aloud wherever you may be now. I was sent here on purpose. Somebody say, I was sent here on purpose. And let me drop this in. I was thinking about this last week. The world is talking about AI. Artificial intelligence is what AI stands for. But loved ones, you are the original AI. Except for you're not artificial intelligence, you are authentic intelligence. Authentic intelligence. Artificial intelligence, it's only going to remix what already exists. It's going to imitate. It mimics. It's a parrot of sorts. But authentic intelligence, that's creativity. That's compassion. That's imagination. That's love. It is the love of the source that is flowing through 50 trillion cells of your body in any given moment. It's the divine algorithm that is pulsing in your DNA. Artificial intelligence is always going to look to the database, but authentic intelligence, and that's what you are, draws from the divine. It draws from the divine base, the infinite field of possibility, the consciousness of God expressing itself in you. Pat yourself on the chest and say, I am the consciousness of God expressing itself as me. I am the consciousness of God expressing itself as me. So don't ever believe the lie that a machine is more powerful than you. I love AI. I think AI has it offers us wonderful things. I've utilized it some for getting through some of the book chapters that I'm writing so that it can help me to edit and do some grammatical corrections and help me with thesaurus things. But remember, it is stuck in a database, whereas you are connected to the ultimate flowing consciousness base of the divine. So don't ever believe that a machine is more powerful than you. A machine can process data, but only you and I can transmit divinity. Only you and I can radiate love. Only you and I can awaken this planet by our very frequency. So even though AI can help us with certain things drawing from the database, this authentic intelligence that we are is awakening the planet. And it's happening through human beings that are willing to be the conduit and the flow of divine presence. And now, part 4, the 5th dimensional portal. Because we've been talking about New Earth, we've been talking about 5th dimension, and I'm sort of working with the process of the two. Are they the same thing, just a different language? And I think they have a little bit of differentiation, but I do believe that they are kin to each other. They're working together with each other. The 5th dimensional portal, Dolores Cannon, who was a very interesting and powerful teacher, said humanity is preparing to step into the 5th dimension, a higher frequency of reality, and I would say a new bandwidth of being. So we're in the process of stepping into a new dimension, a new higher frequency reality, and a new bandwidth. That's why we're expanding our consciousness, because our conduit is changing. We're preparing for a higher voltage of the divine presence. This is the portal that's opening now. And every one of us is being prepared to carry that higher voltage of awakening. That's why sometimes it feels like your life is falling apart, why your nervous system feels overloaded, why the old ways don't fit anymore, and it feels uncomfortable because the body is learning how to conduct more light, how to carry this higher voltage of divine power in this planet. So think of yourself as sacred wiring. The old copper lines can't handle the divine electricity that's flowing. Spirit is rewiring you with fiber optic soul cables. It's preparing you to carry the frequency of heaven right here on earth. Type that into the comments. I'm being prepared to carry the frequency of heaven on earth. Come on, type that in. And if not, at least repeat it after me. I am being prepared to carry the frequency of heaven on earth. That's not just a fantasy. It's real transition into higher consciousness. And the more you align with love, joy, and peace, the more gracefully you move through this portal. And now here's the final thing, the practice of transmission. So how do I live this, John? Tell me how do I live this? How do we transmit divinity in the middle of a Monday morning traffic situation, or the news alerts that are constantly bombarding me, or unpaid bills, or the rise in grocery cost? Give me something practical. Well, here's 3 practices that I believe are working during this season. Number 1, a frequency reset. And here's the one that I'm using right now, and I believe it'll work for you. Place your hand on your heart. Take in 3 slow breaths. And you don't have to do this exercise at the moment, but consider this. Hand on your heart. This is the heart space, the heart of the matter. Take 3 slow breaths in and whisper these words. I am love. I am light. I am here. I am open. I am supported. I am ready. I am love. I am light. I am here. I am open. I am supported. I am ready. According to the HeartMath Institute, when you do that, when you deep breathe in and you breathe out, you slow the breath down and you begin to come into coherence with these words, and you start to feel them in your body. I am love. I am light. I am here. I am open. I am supported. I am ready. This shifts your field, your electromagnetic field, in 20 seconds or less. So that's the number 1 practical thing you can begin to do as you're going through your day. As you feel that, it doesn't take very long. Step off to the restroom. Step outside for a moment. Instead of a smoke break, get an anti-smoke break to remove the smoke from your head. Putting that hand over your heart and making that declaration. And number 2, energy hygiene. Just like you take a shower for your body, start cleansing your frequency daily. Start cleansing your frequency daily. Folks, if you've not practiced this before, you need to consider practicing a psychic bath, essentially. Meditation, gratitude journaling, walking barefoot on the ground, grounding out, hugging a tree, music that lifts you. These things wash the static out of your field. It's a psychic bath of sorts. So as you're taking a shower in the mornings or in the afternoons or whenever it is that you do, remind yourself to take that inner shower. This is what I call energy hygiene. And then number 3, conscious transmission. Speak words that match your divine frequency. Bless instead of curse. Encourage instead of judge. Choose peace even when it feels really good to clap back and call names and insult others. These are ways when we practice these things, we don't just survive the noise, you become the broadcast of the new earth. And that's what we're really here to do, to become the broadcast of the new earth. Loved ones, these are not ordinary times. I know that this is not business as usual. But you were born for this transition, this transformation, and you were born for this transmission. You are not powerless. You are not small. You are the signal. You are the upgrade. You are the frequency of the awakening, pulsing divine nature that is through the body of humanity. You are the awakening that is pulsing through the body of humanity. This is why you feel attracted to this message, to this call, this clarion call that's going forward. You're hearing this, you're connected to it, you're tuned into it because you were born for a time such as this. You are authentic intelligence, not artificial. You are divine abundance. You are the light. You are a light-wired vessel that is moving through the open portal into a higher dimension of being. So today, let's stop asking, when will the world change? And start proclaiming, I am the change. I am the transmission. I am the frequency of love, abundance, and awakening right here and right now. This is me. This is who I am supposed to be. I am showing up here with the loaded, encoded, designed, ordained, designated, and authorized power of God in this particular time in human history to shift this story. The thing that we're doing in this present moment is going to change history because we have decided to stop repeating his story as if we're just doing Macbeth again on a stage somewhere. We're not regurgitating a previous script. We are the new prescription, the new medication through meditation to heal the human race and to retroactively free the DNA of humanity and shift into this new wave of divine beings on this planet. May seem like a tall order, but I believe this is a prophetic word for a group of people who are not pathetic people, but are ready, prepared, and readying themselves and preparing themselves for this high voltage flow of divine presence that is coming through us now. We are this generation of change in the world, and that's why we showed up here when we did. Take just a moment, if you would, and place your hand on your heart. And we're going to just use these 3 simple affirmations here. Receiving a deep breath in and exhaling. I am open. I am supported. I am ready. I am open. I am supported. And I am ready. And so it is. Today, my friend, in a way like you have never before, in a way like you've never before done, consider committing to this movement to be a part of this expansion of consciousness in the world. You may not feel that your calling is to say this message, to speak this message on the broader platform, but I know without a doubt that's my calling. There have been times in my life I didn't want it to be, believe me. You catch less heat if you don't say these things, but I know without a doubt this is my calling. And I'll tell you something, in a way like never before, I walk in a boldness that has brought me into a space where I'm nowhere near willing to quit declaring this message. And these platforms that you support financially make it possible for that to happen. The voice is here. The message is going forth. And if you believe this message is of value and that the world needs to hear this message now, I'm asking you to commit to giving in a sustaining partner way. Make it possible for us to continue doing this. And this is not a plea. This is saying give into this energy. You want to be a part of this energy and this synergy that is transpiring. And it's the month of August still. We're almost out of that month. It's a powerful month of transition, by the way. It's the number 8. Today is the 31st. The number 8 is the number of new beginnings. I'm asking you to consider today giving an offering of $80, an offering of $800, an offering of $8,000, an offering of $80,000, whatever comes to your heart. Use that number 8 to your advantage today. It may be $8. Maybe it's $8.31 because it's 8:31. Maybe that's what you want to do, is given that increment. But utilize the numerology and the power of the numerology and divine geometry. And consider that today. Give a new beginning gift, $8. Also, the number 8 looks like the infinity symbol. So give into this infinite supply of divine nature with the number 8 today. Consider using that. Even if you've already been, you're on the automatic giving thing, and that's what you've already done. You've already given other offerings. Consider then giving $8 today. Use that 8, the number of new beginning in the infinity, and see what happens in your life. As you give cheerfully and gratefully. The ways to give are going to be on the screen as we're on the way out. And I hear that getting started now, so I'm going to get up out of here. I love you all. Now go and make it a great week just because you can. Peace.
Releasing all fear, sharing hope and compassion through the laughter and tears. So let your light shine and let your heart break free. In the name of love, we'll be all we can be. Together we'll rise as the stars start to glow. For we are one love. Oh, let the world know. One love rising, one heart, one song. We are together where we all belong. One love rising, one heart, one song. We are together where we all belong. Oh, we are one love. Hear the call. Together we rise. Let compassion